So I lost 6 inches off my waist in 90 days in my mid-30s. And the way I did it was nothing like how I used to do things back when I was 22. No 5 meals a day, no Tupperware army in the fridge, no hours of meal prep on a Sunday, no cutting carbs after 7 o'clock. There's actually some photos on a holiday in Greece that kicked me up the arse to sort myself out, because I was used to maintaining a lean physique for years, but now I needed to shred up again. But here's the thing, trying to go back to the things that I used to do just doesn't work anymore. I've got a business to run, socials, a relationship, a life that didn't exist back in my early 20s. So I stopped trying to force a 22-year-old diet on a 35-year-old life, and I built something that actually fit instead. I call it the 1-2-3 method, and it's the simplest thing that I've ever done that actually worked. So here's what I realized. The reason that most diets fall apart for blokes our age, it isn't necessarily willpower or anything, is that we end up leaving a lot of things to the last minute. Super busy morning, skip breakfast, by the time you get to lunch, you're absolutely starving and you've got nothing sorted. You grab whatever's nearest, like Tesco meal deal, Greggs, from a work vending machine, or on the petrol station on the way back from a meeting when you're on the road. You get home late, you're tired, you open up an empty fridge, and before you know it, someone's opened Uber Eats or Deliveroo and your calories for the evening have just magically doubled. So the issue is that there's no real system, and the old approach of prepping like 5 separate meals a day every single Sunday falls apart because there's too much friction. So let's talk about what actually works. And here's the thing, any diet that actually works does so because it hits 2 specific sort of numbers. A calorie range that keeps you in a fat loss window, and hitting a daily minimum protein target to ensure that the weight you are losing is the right kind of weight. It's not muscle, it's body fat. And most guys know this, let's be honest, track your calories, hit your protein, job done. But knowing it and actually doing it consistently are 2 different things. So what tends to happen is you end up eating the same reactive way you always have, like last minute meals, whatever's available, and just log it afterwards. You just track it and hope that the numbers magically add up by the end of the day. And quite often they don't, and that's why nothing changes. So the question isn't whether or not you need to hit your shred metrics, because you do. It's how to make hitting them as automatic as possible. Here's what I did. When most blokes get back on it, they naturally gravitate towards the same meals, the same sort of routine. Same breakfast you always have when you're being good, the same couple of lunch choices, the same few dinners that sort of feel like diet food, feel like the right thing to do. So those go-to habits are already in you. So instead of fighting that or replacing it with something completely new, all I did was I just leaned into mine. So I took the meals that I was already naturally reaching for and made sure that they actually hit the numbers that I need to hit. So I tracked them once or twice at the beginning, pretty vigilantly, so that I knew the portion sizes I need for each bit to hit my shred metrics with those meals, and then I would just rotate around them. And what started with that bit of like sort of common sense became this 1-2-3 method. And ultimately that is 1 breakfast, 2 lunches, and 3 dinners. All pre-tracked and already hitting your shred metrics with your calories and protein before you even sit down to eat the bloody thing. So this is exactly what my own meal rotation looked like during those 90 days. So breakfast, it was the same every day, all right? It was my Greek yogurt protein bowl, which takes like 5 minutes to make, and it's around 60 grams of protein. Absolute protein boost in the morning. Job done. Lunches, I had 2 options, kept it really fucking simple. I had scrambled eggs with a little bit of low-fat cheese and some fruit on the side, or I had my teriyaki salmon and rice bowl, all right? Both sitting around 600 calories and 40 grams of protein or so. Which one I had depended on my schedule and how much time I ultimately had. If I needed something very, very fast and quick and convenient, it was the eggs. But if I had a little bit more time, then it was the salmon meal. For dinner, I had 3 options which I would rotate through with the wife. Chicken thighs and Cajun potatoes, we had diced pork tortilla wraps, and we had steak and rice. So all I had to do on the weekend was make sure the fridge and the cupboards were stocked up with those things so that it was available when I needed it during the week. So each meal, first 1 or 2 times, was vigilantly tracked and made sure it was hitting the right calorie range and the right minimum protein. So for my dinners, I made sure it was hitting around 1,000 calories and at least 60 grams of protein. So once I'd done that, all I needed to do was rinse and repeat the portion sizes and the meal choices. They were already very, very similar things that I went to in my go-to diet habits. I wasn't starting a brand new strict diet plan that I would inevitably not be able to stick to because it was too much friction and too different. It was all easy to make, easy to prepare, easy to cook. Both me and the wife actually enjoyed having the dinners as well. And that was literally it. Just 6 meals on repeat, rotated through. So basically Monday to Friday I was absolutely sorted. I knew I was going to be hitting my calorie target every single time and I was going to be hitting enough protein. Now the obvious question is, what happens when you get bored of a meal? That's very simple. You just use the 1 in, 1 out policy. Now because I'm boring, I was able to stick to the same thing the whole time and I didn't need to do that. But I understand that some people like a little bit of variety in life. If, for example, I got sick of my salmon and rice bowl for lunch, all I would need to do was just find a new lunch idea, track it, make sure that it hit the ideal metrics, and then swap it in. All it takes is a little bit of effort when you're coming up with that idea and tracking it for the first time. But if you do it accurately and vigilantly, then you know the metrics, you know the portion sizes, so you can just rinse and repeat. It becomes automatic again. So the rotation stayed at 6 meals, 1 breakfast, 2 lunches, 3 dinners. Does it have to stay exactly like that for you? No, you can have less, you can have a little bit more, but I would be careful not to give yourself too much choice. So yeah, no starting over, no rebuilding the whole diet, just one little swap now and again, and already tracked it, already fixed. So yeah, that system, I was able to keep it up for 90 days, didn't feel like a grind. Things stayed nice and simple. I got rid of decision fatigue, which is always a pain, like not knowing what you're gonna eat. You just stick to that system, stick to those meals. Didn't feel like a chore because I actually enjoyed those meals and it was better than, you know, quick grabs like a Tesco meal deal or something. And the result in 90 days was literally 6 inches down off my waistline. No little bit of belly hanging out in a tight t-shirt. I was looking forward to the next load of holiday photos instead of dreading and wanting to avoid it. This is a system that I take my own coaching clients through in their full 12, 18 month skinny fat to lean and jack roadmaps. It doesn't just work on a shred, it works if you're trying to sustain a lean physique or even to start building up. So if you're not sure where to start, I've got a free program below. It takes your skinny fat physique where you are right now and builds you an entire 12 to 18 month lean and jack roadmap. Gives you an exact timeline for all the phases that you need to go through: shred, build, reveal. Includes this 1, 2, 3 meal plan method as one of the tools in the program that you can use to get started yourself, along with my free 2-set shred workout program builder as well. So it's got absolutely everything in it and it's completely free. So feel free to check that out below. If you enjoyed this video, if you found a lot of value to it, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Any questions, please comment below. And if you would like to see exactly what my full 4-phase system taking my clients from skinny fat to lean and jack looks like, I'll stick a video up here for the entire deep dive 4-phase system video, so you feel free to check that out. All right, sweet. Grab the roadmap below, check that video out. Speak to you soon.